So, I've done 2 negative reviews of cartoon episodes on this channel, and I currently have about 5 more planned. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't want to go crazy from just watching bad episodes. So today, I'm going to look at something good. And what better way to find a good episode than looking at my second favorite cartoon of all time, Teen Titans. Teen Titans definitely holds a special place in my heart. The only cartoon that I love more is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I love them both for similar reasons. Both had beautiful animation, both had thoughtful characters, both had interesting stories, and both always knew how to balance comedy, drama, and action perfectly. However, they used these elements to produce 2 very different flavors. While Avatar was very adventure-based, Teen Titans was always more focused on the characters. Perhaps one of the best examples of this is Nevermore, an episode where a simple character exploration gets a mystic twist. I'm excited to get started, so let's dive in. The episode begins with a pretty badass fight scene. The Titans are fighting Dr. Light, who seems to have the upper hand both in battle skill and one-liners. Considering the things that Cyborg usually says during battle, that's pretty impressive. He takes out the Titans one by one until Raven appears. At first, he seems to be a match for her as well, but when Dr. Light blasts Raven a few times, she warns him not to come closer.
What's the matter? Afraid of the light?
Like I said, this guy's pretty badass. All of a sudden, Raven turns into a tentacle demon and grabs Dr. Light.
What's the matter? Afraid of the dark?
Yes, I am, Raven. Please don't hurt me. When Robin yells at Raven to stop, she regains control and releases Dr. Light. We see that the attack left him pretty traumatized. Beast Boy asks Raven what she did, but she doesn't want to talk about it. Alright, so we have a rather creepy scene that nicely foreshadows our future conflict. So far, so good. Let's go on. We cut to the next day, where Beast Boy has made breakfast.
On my planet, such a feast would mark the arrangement of a marriage. Tell me, Beast Boy, to whom are you engaged?
This show really knew how and when to be funny. We get a joke about the breakfast being entirely vegan, and then Raven enters. Beast Boy offers her breakfast, but she only wants tea. When Beast Boy brings it the previous night, Raven causes the food to explode and walks off. The other Titans tell Beast Boy to go apologize to Raven for his comments. However, Beast Boy gets defensive, bringing up how Raven doesn't seem to like him.
You know, she's never once laughed at any of my jokes.
At least she listens. I just kind of tune you out.
You know, this is how you do exposition correctly. You keep it concise and you keep it entertaining. Writers, you get a jar of pickles. A little while later, we see Beast Boy going up to Raven's door. He knocks extremely lightly and sarcastically decides that she's not in. However, Cyborg shows up and suggests that he knock a little louder. This results in Cyborg knocking Raven's door in.
Looks like Halloween came early this year.
We're in Raven's room. We should not be in Raven's room.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Cyborg. After all, when Beast Boy picks up a mirror, a giant hand pops out of it and grabs him. Yes, that's technically a contrivance, but it's not really a problem here. Contrivance is okay if it feels natural, and since Raven went all... it's safe to assume that there are a lot of randomly magical things in her room. Anyways, the hand sucks both of them into the mirror. After going through a portal, Beast Boy and Cyborg find themselves on an asteroid in space, I guess. You know, that portal scene reminds me of the esophagus scene in Rubik in Wonderland. However, it works here because it doesn't last for too long, and because the characters don't have grating voices.
I told you we shouldn't have gone in a room.
Beast Boy never stopped being hilarious. A bridge of asteroids form, and they both start walking. As they wonder if this might be Raven's home, we get what is probably one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life.
Turn back, turn back.
Can I have one? Nope, never mind. I don't want one, I don't want one. So we get a quick chase scene with Beast Boy, Cyborg, and those demon birds, and it ends with Cyborg blasting the bridge that they were standing on, which causes both of them to nearly fall.
Hey guys. What's up?
I don't know anymore.
Ignoring the joke and the mind screw, why is Raven wearing pink?
'Cause it's my favorite color?
It is?
It's immediately evident that Raven is acting unusually cheery. She tells Beast Boy and Cyborg that the only way out of this place is through the forbidden door, but warns them that they probably don't want to go there for some reason. Beast Boy and Cyborg both note Raven's bizarre demeanor. When they walk under a stone arch, they get transported to Cotton Candy Land.
I think this might be where air fresheners come from.
Good one!
You're laughing?
At one of my jokes?
Sure, I've always thought you were funny, BB, but
This does seem extremely out of character for Raven, but it works for two reasons. First, the writers make it clear that they know this behavior is out of the ordinary. Second, and more importantly, Raven has a reason to be acting strange. What is that reason? We will see shortly. We cut to outside, where Raven is meditating. When Robin and Starfire tell her that her door was knocked over, she starts laughing and then storms off. While we're on this scene, I should mention that the music sets the tone extremely well in this episode. Raven walks into her room and discovers that somebody moved her mirror. Cutting back to Beast Boy and Cyborg, we see that Raven apparently ditched them. They walk under another stone arch and are transported back to space. Aww, I liked Cotton Candy Land. Raven suddenly pops up, wearing a gray cloak. When Beast Boy yells at her for ditching them, she acts extremely timid. Cyborg spots the forbidden door, but when he starts walking towards it, a maze pops up around them. Beast Boy and Cyborg try to use their powers to escape, but to no avail. Raven tells them that the only way out is through.
I can show you the way, but when we reach the end, you won't like me anymore.
So Raven is acting far more apologetic than usual. And once again, Beast Boy and Cyborg take notice of her unusual behavior. After some walking and talking, they reach the end of the maze, where there are two large stone statues. As Cyborg and Beast Boy walk towards it, the statues combine into a pretty menacing-looking threat, and Raven runs off. As the statue monster approaches, we suddenly cut away to Robin watching TV. Starfire asks if they should check on Raven, but Robin says that she doesn't want to be disturbed. There are a couple of more quick cutaways to Robin and Starfire later in the episode. Unfortunately, they break the flow of the story somewhat. This, by the way, is really the only major problem I have with the episode. To keep the flow of this review going, let's just ignore these cutaways for right now. Cutting back to Beast Boy and Cyborg, they begin fighting the giant statue thing. Suddenly, Raven reappears, this time wearing a green cloak. She takes on the statue and defeats it without much effort at all. Now, Raven appears to be acting extremely bold and outgoing. Beast Boy is, of course, understandably, extremely confused.
Your deal! First you nuke breakfast, then finally laugh at my jokes, then you're all weepy, and now you're a Marine? Make up your mind. Who are you?
I'm Raven!
Cyborg sees that all three of the Ravens are different sides of her personality. Beast Boy and Cyborg realize that they must have been transported not to Raven's home, but into her mind. And don't worry, it's far less confusing in the episode than it sounds. The real Raven appears and scolds Beast Boy for touching the mirror. Suddenly, some birds scatter, which gets Raven to urge the other two to leave. She says that when she lost control of her powers the previous night, something got loose in her mind. When Beast Boy demands to know exactly what she means, this guy appears.
Hatred shall rule.
Hey, villain guy, you ever heard of subtlety? Okay, but in all seriousness, this is Raven's father, and yes, he is rather threatening. As he tries to blast them, Raven tells Beast Boy and Cyborg that they need to leave. If she loses the fight, they'll be trapped in her mind forever. After some more fighting, which for the record is pretty epic, Raven gets grabbed by her father.
Sounds like somebody needs a timeout.
Cyborg, never stop having epic one-liners. Cyborg's blast sends Raven's father plummeting into the abyss. He drops Raven, who is saved by Beast Boy.
You stayed? I thought you didn't like me.
Thought you didn't like me.
Yo, I like both of you. Now get your butts over here!
Cyborg, can't you just... Oh, wait, Scary Demon Guy is back. Never mind. Okay, at this point, the battle gets really epic. Yeah, I can only say that something kicks ass so many times before it gets old. Anyways, pretty soon, Raven warns them that they don't have enough power to defeat her father. Beast Boy and Cyborg tell Raven to call one of her other sides, but she says that none of them are strong enough. Then, Beast Boy suggests that she uses the combined powers of all of them, and Cyborg assures her that they have her back. With that advice, Raven summons her other sides, giving us a rather interesting looking sequence. They combine to form a White Cloak Raven, who quickly begins to gain the upper hand over her father.
You are going back where you belong!
Oh yeah, it is on now. Raven and her father fire blasts at each other, and the tension peaks as a beam struggle occurs. However, Raven is finally able to overpower him. This turns her father into a red-hooded, four-eyed quasi-raven for some reason. He evaporates and gets absorbed into her. The significance of that will come in later episodes. Raven thanks Beast Boy and Cyborg for helping her, calling them her friends. You know, that's a really heartwarming moment.
And you really think I'm funny?
Don't push it.
Finally, we cut to Starfire and Robin outside of Raven's door. Starfire still wants to check on her, but Robin still thinks that they should leave them alone. Raven, Beast Boy, and Cyborg all emerge from the room and talk for a short amount of time to further bring out the emotion. The episode ends with them all deciding to have breakfast for dinner. And that was Nevermore, a great episode of a great show. Raven is definitely the most interesting of the Titans, so it's only fitting that the first episode to focus on her is incredibly entertaining. It has kick-ass action scenes, laugh-out-loud comedy, and touching emotional moments. Yes, the cutaways to Robin and Starfire do interrupt the pacing of the second half, but it doesn't detract very much from the episode overall. Everything else comes together pretty beautifully. Teen Titans originally ended in 2006. However, after a 7-year hiatus, the show was rebooted. Most of you have likely heard of this recent spin-off, Teen Titans Go. It's a series that shifted the focus from the characters to the comedy. I have been intending to review an episode of it since the beginning of the summer, and luckily for me, one of their episodes is a direct parody of Nevermore. I'm not going to spoil anything now, but I will say it gives me plenty to talk about. Join me in my next review to find out more. As for this episode, Nevermore gets 4 out of 4 stars from me. I highly recommend checking it out.